Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and this is another live, and we're going to be talking about this video of Amber Heard from 2016. She was this PSA, this public service announcement about domestic violence, and she was talking about I'm trying to bring awareness to this, but what was the background of what was happening, what was actually happening, everything that we've seen so far in the defamation trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. And this was maybe not the most honest way to come forward, but I want you to watch this video, okay? We're gonna watch this video. It's just 2 minutes long, but it has quite a lot of signals that we can pinpoint to spot true emotions, what was really going with her emotions at that moment, okay? Now, if you haven't done so yet, just subscribe and hit that like button, because that is the way that we can bring more people here and share more and more bodies in this analysis. But right from the get-go, and this is the start in the video, it is right from the start. This is Amber's expression. I'm gonna play it from the start. I'm gonna see that this is like the second three.
How is this happening to me? I'm strong.
Okay, I don't know if
smart.
you just let me know if you can hear her nice and sweet, but even so, we don't need much audio from her, but let me know if you can hear her words when I hit play. At that exact moment, right from the start of that video, we have a half smile of contempt. Like she's pulling one of her lip corners to one side. You see her left lip corner pulling at that exact moment. So then maybe it was a bit odd having that expression at that instant, because she's a supposed victim, right? And it's not like she's gonna be how to say that, have that attitude at that moment. But let's see what happens when we begin stacking signals, because in every body language analysis we have to be stacking like at least four or five signals to reach a conclusion about one particular part of her body language. So let's go for the rest. Let's go for the next one, and we're gonna have these yellow markers to tell us when to stop. Okay, I'm gonna be reading your comments at the same time.
I'm strong, smart. I'm not a victim to my detriment. I guess it was.
So we got there at rapid blinking. I hope you spotted that. I'm gonna go back a few seconds. Okay, and she's saying that I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm not a victim. And she says, to my detriment. Okay, I don't know. I really don't know how why does she say that? Like she wants to be a victim, maybe. But let's go back a few seconds and let's spot that rapid blinking. Focus on her eyes. Okay.
I'm not a victim to my detriment.
It goes.
I guess it was.
Yeah, so that it's like 2 or 3 blinks.
Detriment.
Let me see if we can pause and count them. Can I count them frame by frame? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blinks in less than 1 second. That is really rapid blinking. That is a high blinking rate. This is not like a lying signal. It's not that immediately you can say that she's lying. No, it's more that she's trying to conceal something when saying that, like, I'm not a victim, I'm strong, I'm smart, like, to my detriment. She's trying to give this, send this message, send this image to the world, okay? Present this image so she can, like, bring her case the way she wanted, okay? I'm gonna play that again just so you learn to spot those rapid blinking, and we then move on.
Smart.
Here it comes.
I'm not a victim.
Here it goes.
To my detriment. I guess there was a lot of shame attached to that label of victim. It happens to so many women.
Okay, this is important. When she begins talking about the label of a victim, okay? we are going to see that she's trying to put this sadness face, this face of sadness, like trying to really to project sadness with her face, but there's not enough contraction of her eyebrows in her forehead. Like there's no the right wrinkles should be a couple vertical wrinkles, because that's when the eyebrows push, okay, push that little flesh between them, okay. And in sadness, this happens a very interesting thing in between our eyebrows, because the eyebrows both go down and up at the same time. This two sets of muscles that like fight against each other, and that's something really hard to fake. Now, some of you mentioned that she might have Botox, and that's why she cannot like display that emotion that well. But it's my question: do actresses apply Botox to their faces? Because I think that's a very bad idea. Because how then they can project real emotions when they are on camera? I think it would be a really bad idea doing that. Okay. But in this case, she's trying to come off as sadness, as sad about talking about her point. What is she's saying about victims? It happens to so many women, and but her emotion is not quite right. It's not there. Okay, it lacks punch, so to speak. Let's move on and to the next signal. So far, we've seen that we have seen contradicting signals in whatever she's saying, and we're barely in 15 seconds out of 2 full minutes.
So many women, when it happens in your home behind closed doors with someone you love, it's not as straightforward. If a stranger...
Okay, she's also trying to like force in a bit. How is she looking up? Yeah, sometimes you can like rest your gaze, rest your eyes. You're talking to someone, you rest your eyes looking to other side, to your right, to your left, up and down. That's absolutely normal. There's not a signal that means much. It is a signal that usually when you are looking to this side, let's put this my left, okay? If I look to my left, I'm remembering, okay? I'm trying to access my memory banks in my brain. And when I look to my right, is the creativity side. And it's not like people's eyes go to the right and they are lying. Is maybe they are looking for the right word to present an idea, okay? But it is a very easy way to remember that. You look to the left, like where we are coming from are our memories, and where we are going to the right, okay, will be something we're imagining or trying to figure out the future. Then that is our creative side, memory side. But in this case, she's forcing that, like looking up. She's not only like looking up with her eyes, but her whole head is turning upwards. Okay, this is a really exaggerated position of her head, and I think she was trying to force that like victim stance, that victim image at that moment. But it seemed forced. Okay, again, there's no problem that you look a bit to one side or the other or up, but this was a bit too much. I don't know, what do you think about this gesture?
If a stranger did this, as...
Right. Okay, again, she's trying to come up as sad, okay? But there's not enough contraction between her eyebrows. She's trying to display that, but she's really not that interested in like really connecting with people with that emotion, okay? That sadness just falls short. It's like 50% sadness, but not full sadness. Yeah, maybe it's a bad actress or someone that is just lying. That is a question that some of you are making in the comments. It's again, like, look at this moment. As I was pointing out, if a stranger did this, she's talking about if by domestic violence that is so hard to process that someone that you love does that to you in your own home behind closed doors, and that is so difficult to process. And in fact, that is true. It's difficult to process that someone that you love will harm you in any way. And if it was a stranger, it will be a no-brainer to reach to the conclusion that, well, this is an evil person, okay? But I made a mark there because it was a classic eyes to the right. You see it? You see that? There it goes. It's a very classic eyes to the right. I don't want to tag or label those eyes to her right side with a direct meaning. But those eyes went to her right side not because she was remembering something, because she was thinking of how to process an idea. Or yes, in some cases people that are lying look to their right, in some cases, not every case, but she was certainly not remembering at that moment, okay? That is something that we can tell. She was not remembering, okay? Very, very important. 1700 body language buddies now. Thanks for coming to my live. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button because it helps me a lot to reach more people. That's all you have to do. Hit the like button. It's easy. We have 390 likes. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes or even 600 likes. Thank you very much. And let's go. Let's continue.
Is the beginning of.
Okay, here she's got those shiny eyes. You know, when you see that reflection in the eyes is more sharp, is more luminous. Okay, you understand that there's like this layer of tears over the eyes because you have teary eyes. She wants to. She's putting her teary eyes, and it's something that an actress can do on command. Okay, that is no big deal. So let's see. We can scrub. This one word she was telling at this moment. As a reminder, it was in 2016. It was a PSA announcement talking about domestic violence and all this. What was happening with Johnny Depp. And she was being interviewed by this, I don't know if it was a portal or what, Girl Gaze. And this video was deleted from the internet. There's only this low resolution version. I tried to clean up the audio and try to focus on her face to make those expressions stand out. So let's continue.
Choosing yourself. Really.
Okay, in that expression at that moment, this is let me go back to the exact instant. Okay, where I have this little square, my friendly little square. That expression was a bit was a mixed bag. You know that she's trying to like connect with the person and connect with her audience. Like when you close your eyes a bit. There's a term in English. I quite don't remember the term now, but I don't know if it's scrunching your eyes or what, but it's that kind of eyes that you're trying to connect with people, to make people feel pity for you. But her mouth, it's like her mouth is also doing again that a bit of a contempt smile, like at the beginning. Just a squint. Thank you, squint. That is squinting. That I totally forgot that word. You are the best. You are all of you are great. Thanks for your help helping my English. Squinting, but her mouth just doesn't cut it. It's like a mixed bag. These kind of things are very, very difficult to see in real time in a real conversation, but you pick them up. You think that there's something odd with this person, but you can really tell what it is. Okay, we can spot it here because we have the benefit of scrubbing back and forth. Okay, that expression, and it's like, yeah, it's a bit odd. She's trying to come out as sad, remembering, etc., what she went through, and I don't know. It's odd. Again, it doesn't have a direct meaning, but you can put it in the drawer of odd facial expression. That is important to make that distinction. Okay, we continue.
If I hadn't had that,
I think I saw a rapid blinking in the air. Let's see. Oh well, here it is. It really looks like a contempt smile. Okay, it's just that's a bit even of a duping delight. I didn't spot that on the first pass. That's the charm of this live analysis. I spot things that I didn't see on when I was editing this video for the live. Yeah, it looks a lot of duping delight. No, this is not an audition tape. This is absolutely duping delight. I would say it was 40 seconds in. Let's continue.
If I hadn't,
yes, there's a rapid blinking in there too. There. Let me count the blinks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Maybe they are on purpose. They're all 4 blinks in under a second again. Would that be a coincidence?
But if I hadn't had that, if I hadn't had a few people that I really trust around me, a few women.
Okay, this is important. She was talking about, I'm going to go back to see what was she talking about. If I hadn't had a few people that I really trust around me, look at this. She first says, if I hadn't had a few people that I really trust around me, and then she corrects herself and she says, a few women support, a few friends. She corrects saying that it was women, okay? It was almost exclusively women. And she does this expression, okay? I'm going to go back to listen to her.
A few people that I really trust around me, a few women support.
I find it odd that she makes so much emphasis to try to make it clear that it was women that supported her. Okay? I don't know. You can find support in both men and women. That will not be that wouldn't be a problem if there are men that can support you. Well, so be it. But in this case, she was really drive the point home that it was women support. There was women that, like, I don't know, close, was shoulder to shoulder. She says that expression later, that helped her. And I think that she wanted to address it in some way, like women empowerment, or I'm talking like Megan this time, like women empowerment or women helping each other. It's like that is the script that people were going to believe, or the way that people were going to identify with her, or women were going to identify with her. Okay, and I found that emphasis in women support odd for that reason. Okay, yes, it sounds like a feminist. She's trying to come as a feminist. A few women support, and she does that expression and even raises her eyebrow like The Rock and tries to bring that gaze, like connect with the woman that was doing the interview. Okay, gonna go back a bit.
A few people that I really trust around me, a few women support, a few friends.
So far we got many signals that she's basically forcing not only her facial expressions, not only her feelings, but how can I tell? How can I say this? She's trying to drive the point home, but in a way that looks unnatural. That is the problem. Looks unnatural. There's something that you can't just tell. It's like, well, she's lying. No, you cannot. You don't have the, or we don't have the ingredients so far in almost 1 minute of video to say she is lying, but we know that's something that is off. Okay, like this is not like a woman in her position, in her alleged position, would talk. Okay, those are the first steps, because it's not body language is not only that you're going to uncover people lying. Okay, it's not that it doesn't have to be that direct that reach a conclusion, but you begin to notice things that are just out of place. Okay, and it's in those things that are out of place that you begin to ask questions and natural questions to the person, and begin finding out that the person, well, was hiding a bit, or begins to stutter, or begin to make up another story about what you just asked, or begin to see that there are more signals of that they are not sure what they're talking about, or maybe signals of lying. Okay, so this is important. So we are in the process. This process of spotting these tiny signals is extremely important, because that is the way that you learn to spot them in real life. Okay, we continue.
I had them around me.
Again, she's trying to have that connection of sadness, like I'm sad, but it doesn't. It really doesn't cut it. Okay, it's a half sadness, so to speak.
Around me, how different my life would be.
Okay, there's more. Look at this. There's a mixed bag again. There's the rapid blinking, and that forced reaction looking to one side. Okay. Let me play this again.
A few friends. If I didn't have them around me, how different my life would be.
Yeah, that's the thing that is out of place. It's such forced reactions. Such forced reactions. Maybe she doesn't have to be crying. It's not necessarily that she should be crying. It was not like she doesn't need to be crying to be truthful. But in this case, you know that there's something odd.
Just
because
as a woman,
so exaggerated gestures and
stage,
that sadness is
in the public arena that I did
the most important gesture that will be sadness is not there. Okay, for example, here she lowers, she's saying that she's able, having a unique opportunity to remind, tell people, tell women that they have a voice, and she lowers her head, like trying to be humble. Okay, she's lowering her head. Remember that if you raise your chin, you're being arrogant. I'm arrogant in this position. Okay, and if I lower my head, especially if I lower my head and tilt that to one side, that's being a bit humble. That is the opposite. Okay, that is it's something that is easier to spot. So she's trying to, well, I have a unique opportunity to remind.
I have a unique
women, I think,
opportunity to remind other women, not only that this doesn't have to be the way it is, you don't have to do it alone. You're not alone.
Okay, this is the epitome. Yeah, it's hard to say that Amber is humble, but this is, what is this? What? Tell me, what is this? I want to know, what is this expression? This is it's outrageous. This is when you understand that she was really exaggerating, because she's addressing women, telling them that you don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. Okay? But she really exaggerates that expression. She's like, she's like all the time looking like she needs a shot of vitamin B, and all of a sudden she gets this burst. It's a bit crazy. Oh, we should do a loop like this. Yeah, that is very high in the crazy meter. Okay, that those displays are really hard to like accept as genuine. Okay, she was trying too hard. She was really trying too hard. More than 3,000 bodies here. I'm really glad that you're here sharing this live with us. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get those likes to 1,500. Let's see if we can get those likes to 1,500 while we continue.
Alone, and also we can change this. Violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence.
Here?
It is also about how we deal with it and how we talk about it.
Okay, I made a mark in these words. I put a white mark in the words because some things that she says, there's no body language reaction, but some things that she says do not make sense. I'm gonna show you. Violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence. Okay, that's correct. So you guess that she's gonna talk about psychological violence, right? Or emotional violence. But what she says right after that, and there is no cut in the editing, it is also about how we deal with it. Okay. That doesn't make much sense to me. I'm gonna review that again and let me know what you think. But violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence. So you think that she's gonna complement that types of violence with the other types, but it is also about how we deal with it. Okay. Well, as you can say, and it's important to notice that there is no editing, there's no jump, no cutting in the video. That she was talking her mind, speaking her mind, and it was like didn't make much sense at the moment. It is also about how we deal with it and how we talk about it in the media and in our culture. That was strange, and it's interesting that she slipped that idea. It's how we talk about it in the media and in our culture. It's like she wanted to get that idea out, and there's not much to have a real verbal analysis in here, but I wanted to point it out because it's important when we see this kind of inconsistencies in something that should be an easier, because she allegedly experienced the event. It should be an easier flow of consciousness and ideas, and have a bit more more meaningful. Okay. Yes, a bit of a word salad. That is absolutely the name for it. Yes, it's a lot like our favorite Duchess. Let's continuously what we can find, or 30 seconds left of the video.
Culture. And us taking responsibility.
Okay, there was another marker here. And she's pressing her lips again. I think this was this. I don't know what did I put that marker in there. I think it was her mouth that she was doing some kind of. She was just pressing her lips. Yeah, it was the lip pressing. I think she realized that she like mixed up the ideas that she was talking about. She was talking about the other kinds of violence on domestic violence, and she began like talking about another thing, and she says, "Hey, I mess up," so she pressed her lips, and it
us
was
taking
not caught
responsibility for it
from that.
is
And it's taking responsibility for it. This is the part that this is the words that were a little, I don't know, out of place. Taking responsibility. Who is going to take responsibility? I think she wanted to say that women that are victims of domestic violence should take responsibility and come forward and talk. Okay? But it sounds a bit harsh. Okay? It sounds a bit harsh. Now we know that maybe her version of events was not the actual one. So she had this luxury of talking to actual victims of domestic violence in a rather harsh way. You have to take responsibility. You have to come forward. And I don't know if she, at that moment, yes, she turns her eyes to her right. If you have been watching the live from the start, now you know what it meant. She was creating this on the fly. She was not lying, because she was saying that something, well, is taking responsibility sounds like sounds a bit harsh. Like it's the people who are the abusers that should be responsible and not do what they do. Okay, abusing and being violent and in their at home. And she using those words, taking responsibility for the victims, sounds like a bit out of place. Like she was messing a bit or mixing a bit her ideas, and we have like some idea of why that was happening in her mind. So yes, blaming the wrong people, and again, it's something that you can't just listen and, well, she just had a slip of the mind. There's no big deal. Well, every single one of us can have a slip of the mind, but it's like that anecdote that Johnny had of she being upset that he didn't let her take off his boots, and she became like slightly upset, and he said, well, this is a like a quirk or something, no big deal. But it's in those small signals, I tell you, it's in those small signals that you begin to be more sensitive to those subtle inconsistencies in both body language and voice tone, and in the words, because it's important too. We think that, okay, body language is very important. It's extremely rich in all the things that you can find in regarding inconsistencies, but it's also important to notice what the person is actually saying, to pay attention to what the person is actually, the words that are coming out of their mouth. Okay, we can find a lot of inconsistencies, and it's not that you are going to point out to the person, aha, you are lying, you are saying to say something inconsistent. You just ask a question, ask further questions, you make them talk a little bit more, and that's it. Just make them talk, and you're gonna see that sooner or later they're gonna fall, they're gonna trip, and gonna really mess it up, and you're gonna realize that they're just making things as they go. So we're very close to 4,000 bodies in here. I'm sure that if you hit like now, if you hit the like button, we're gonna be very close to those 4,000 in no time. Let me know if we reach as we continue with this analysis. Okay, there's another marker in here, another lowering her head, but this is more threatening. Okay, this is more like anger. This is very, 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 very angry expression, and she's like tensing, like clenching her teeth a bit. I cannot tell that her jaw is tense. The filter of the camera doesn't allow to see it, but the expression it was really need to change. What was she saying that one this taking responsibility for it is what really needs to change, okay? Victims have to take responsibility. Oh my god. Have you realized that sentence? Victims of domestic violence are the ones who must be responsible. Oh, how nice. Everything makes sense, right? Oh, it's like, okay, yeah, the victims are the ones who must take the fall to be responsible in front of the world. Does it sound like makes sense to you? Right? With all the what all she did to Johnny, and Johnny was the one who was responsible in the end. It's this is not like I'm not making this up. You're reading this as we're watching that. You're realizing that what she says does not make sense. Okay, does not make sense. It's a bit harsh on victims, and it's so many exaggerations on her body language and words that are off, and you realize that it fits with what she had on her mind at that moment. Okay, that is really creepy, to say the least, that to understand that her words had the actual meaning of what was happening with Johnny at that moment. Oh my god, 4,000 bodies here. I'm really grateful. And if we get those likes to 2,000, well, my night will be made. And thank you in advance. Let's continue.
Really needs to change. We need to take responsibility for how we talk about these things.
Yeah, there's rapid blinking in there. Rapid blinking.
Responsibility for how we talk about these things.
Looking to her left, she is remembering. Okay, a quick remembering in there. We need to take responsibility for how we talk about these things. Okay, there was a eyes to her left. Memory banks. Okay, that's easy. Memory banks. What is she remembering? We cannot possibly know, but she was in that moment accessing memory banks of her brain. Okay, that is something that we can learn to spot. Let's play.
The only way that people are going to feel comfortable in coming forward, raising their voices, standing up for themselves, is if we change the system in place that keeps them quiet. Speak up. Speak up. Raise your voice. Your voice is the most powerful thing, and we, together, as women standing shoulder to shoulder, cannot and will not any longer.
Okay, notice that at the end of like the last 20 seconds of the video, she was doing this most probably rehearsed speech about what women should do, women together, and notice that she how to say that, she insists and emphasizes the fact that it's women the ones that are victims. It's women that need to be shoulder to shoulder. It's women that have to do this together. Okay, and it's the women. Remember that we had this point that the women support. I had women support because it's all about women, right? Because only women can be victims, right? And you remember that those recordings of Amber telling Johnny, go ahead, Johnny, tell the world that you are the victim. Who are they going to believe? Okay? Who is going to believe you? And that is creepy as F. Okay? Yeah, those last 20 seconds was her script. And it's really creepy. It's really creepy that if she told Johnny that, who is gonna believe you? Who's gonna believe that you are the abused? Who's gonna believe that I was the one who was hitting you, okay, slapping you or whatever? was the those aggressions, and that is consistent with what we are seeing here, making that emphasize over and over again in the women that women support. I got support first, she says, from people. If I hadn't had a few people that I really trust around me, and then she corrects, oh no, wait, just women support, okay, exclusively. And then she violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence, and then she messes up the idea, and then she goes for her scripted finale. She just talks about the only way the people are going to feel comfortable in coming forward, raising their voices, standing up for themselves. If we change the system and place that keeps them quiet, speak up, raise your voice, blah blah blah. So again, the message is actually valid. Okay, it's necessary. It's a necessary message that we are. We need, we're always being needed, okay? Because violence should never be an option, and much less at a household, your partner, okay? But the problem is, so many signals that we've seen from the beginning with that contempt, okay, for you that are joining the live now, that contempt straight from the beginning. I'm trying to, you see, okay, the kids is easier. Right at the beginning, that one. You can see that there's this subtle shadow below her cheek, that she's pulling her left lip corner, and that is not a smile, that is a contempt smile. She's feeling contempt at that moment. And then she tries to disguise it in many ways. Okay, it's impressive. That is something that so much happens in just 2 minutes, and I really hadn't noticed one of the things that was the constant mentioning of women, like trying to disguise the fact that this can happen to men too. Okay. And it's a bit sad that we remember that those words, she threatening Johnny, like nobody's gonna believe you. So I don't want to take this live much longer. Like, I don't want it to be that long, but I want to have a conclusion about this and what we saw in here in these expressions is that most of the time we're talking about one person, or where we are interviewing them, or we're just asking questions, or just watching them talk, and you're gonna pick up signals that just say there's something odd in here. That is your intuition, that everything that we have seen in slow motion, you're gonna be picking that in real time. Okay, but your rational mind will not have enough time to process that. You only will feel that there's something off. Okay? There's something off with this person. There's something off when I asked them this particular question and they looked in a way that was different from all the other questions or all the other remarks. You're going to see that there's a change. That's the fundamental principle in body language analysis. You're going to see a change of rhythm, okay? Maybe the person is always talking with her hands and you ask something, or someone arrives and they just cross their arms at that moment and stop their gestures altogether until the topic changes and they relax again. You know that topic that made a change on their body language and their behavior, you know that change, that topic affects them in some way. Okay, you don't know if it's positive or if it's negative, but you know that it affects them. Maybe they raise their voice talking about certain subject. You know that subject, they feel emotional. They feel a strong emotion about that topic. You don't say anything. You just listen and observe and realize what is important, what triggers this person, what makes this person lose their track of consciousness, or their ideas changing. Maybe a person that has an easy time just talking in this flow of consciousness, and all of a sudden they begin to stutter or they begin to have trouble connecting ideas together. You know that the topic that they're talking about that moment affects them. Okay, there's something odd with that topic, but there's something odd with those tiny signals that you see. You are not going to be able to process them rationally, but you have to say, hey, at this point, something happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but something happened. As you study these kind of signals, like the rapid blinking and the smirks and the such as, for example, let's look at this one. I want to go for the rapid blinking. This rapid blinking is classic.
To my detriment. I guess there was a lot of shame.
4 blinks in under, I think it's under half a second. I think it was really, really fast.
To my detriment. I guess
Yeah. You will begin to spot them in real time. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to reach, that stage of being able to spot those signals in real time and use them to your advantage, to connect better with people, or to be able to ask better questions, or say that people are telling the truth, or maybe they are stretching that truth beyond what you're comfortable with. That's my intention. If you have any clip or video about this topic, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, or any other topic, you can follow me in my social media. My hands are a bit asymmetric. In my social media, Instagram, follow me on Instagram and send me messages or tag me in there. Or follow me on Twitter, also my Twitter in there. Or you can send me an email, but it's much faster through my social media. Okay? I cannot promise to answer all your messages, but I absolutely will read them all. That is my promise. And if you want to support my channel, you can always have the option. Of going for the PayPal. I don't think this. I think this video doesn't have the PayPal link in the description. Oh, I messed that up. It doesn't matter. You can visit my channel. There must be a PayPal link in the description of my channel. But if you don't find it, well, that was my mistake. But you can always hit the like button if you haven't done so, and that will help me a lot. Yes, people are talking about that 1 hour audio that is running here on YouTube. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to listen to it and give you my impressions, and maybe we can have another live. My body language buddies, it was a great pleasure to juggle ideas, to review this video, and I'm gonna try to make. Most probably, I will be doing a summary of this video, an 8-9 minute summary. So you can watch it. Just the highlights will be much better for you to review everything that we saw today on this live. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. It will be great if you subscribe. And again, there's my social media for any clip, tip that you can send me. You might be willing to send me. I will be really grateful. My body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and was great sharing another live with you. And until we meet again in another live, maybe a short or a recorded video, or in my social media, it will be a pleasure to hang out together next time. Take care and have a wonderful night or day, depending on of where are you watching from. Love you all. Take care.